Well, hello, hello, hello. My name is Natalie Francis-Clarke. I am the host of Pause Reset Unplugged. And today, my guest is none other than Roxanne Rabb. Roxanne, I am so excited. I'm so excited. She's on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. Um, it's interesting how we met, me being a realtor. I think it was something on Facebook. And now a year later, we're finally connecting like this. So before we start going through the interview process, I just want to read her bio. So Roxanne is a dynamic serial entrepreneur with a mission to empower individuals and families to achieve financial stability and build generational wealth. Specializing in credit repair, Roxanne has transformed the financial lives of many by helping them improve their credit scores and access better financial opportunities. As a licensed mortgage loan officer, she offers comprehensive services across all 50 states, guiding clients through the complexities of home financing and helping them realize their dream of ownership. In addition to her roles in finance, Roxanne is a certified notary and a compassionate funeral plan consultant, providing essential support to families during difficult times. A dedicated mother of four, she balances her professional life with a deep commitment to her family, embodying values of resilience and service. Passionate about making a positive impact, Roxanne is driven by a love for helping people and a vision of helping more individuals become homeowners, thereby laying the foundation for generational wealth. So let's welcome, hey, Roxanne.
Everybody, thank you, Natalie, for having me. So
Awesome.
honored. I feel very honored to be on here and be able to talk with you.
Awesome. So I always like to ask my guests, what are they eating or snacking on? I know there's a difference right now with our time zones. I can tell you right now, I'm sipping on some BJ's water. What do you do? What are you snacking on or
I'm
drink?
just drinking some tea with lemon.
Awesome.
Cold out here, it's just keeping myself warm.
Oh, it's cold?
Yes.
Okay.
Like in the daytime, it's like 70, 80s, but right now it's breezy, it's cold out here. Like you need a jacket. Once it hits 5 o'clock, yeah, it's cold.
Okay. 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 I guess the same right now here in Charlotte in the daytime is I think today was probably the first really fall day. It was in the 70s, but then temperature has dropped and it was cold this morning. But so Roxanne, let's get into it, right? So um your entrepreneurial journey spans several areas from credit repair to mortgage services and even funeral planning. What inspired you to enter the financial services industry and how did that journey begin?
Um, well, the reason why I entered the financial industry is because I wanted to be a homeowner. And when I had a good job, I had the money, but my credit was horrible. I was one of those people where I would just pay it when I wanted to pay stuff. I didn't really understand that, paying stuff late was important. If my kids wanted something, we wanted to go somewhere, that was the priority to me. Like the bill would get paid, like, whenever. But when I went to go get a house and was being educated on, my credit and how to maintain my credit and seeing like, oh my God, all my habits were so horrible, just paying it whenever I wanted. My credit score was in the 600, but I had late payments. Like, oh my God, like crazy late payments. And, when you go try to get a house, the bank, they look at your credit score and they look at like, are you a good fit? Are you going to pay your bills? Are you a risk? And
Mhm.
so I was searching online for somebody to help me. And I came across a company where I just love, everything they had to offer. It wasn't just like credit repair. It was more. It was showing you how to budgeting. It was showing you different things because I needed to be educated because I can go and I've had people fix my credit, and then 30 days later, it was back on there because I didn't know what was going on. I was taking, the faith of people who just, were scamming me. So
Mm,
I found the company that like I had a portal, I had everything. So I'm in the loop. I had education, I had tools to help me outside, to budget, to help me like basically every penny has a place. And I didn't realize that before. So when I found the company, I felt like it was a perfect fit to help me, educate myself. And when I saw the business opportunity where I could be able to help others, it was like a no-brainer, But I worked my 9 to 5. I was fixing my credit, trying to get my house. But once I got my house, it was so amazing because I got my house in November of 2020, which is right when the pandemic hit. And so to
mm,
get a house, like, even though I didn't let the pandemic stop me, it was such an amazing feeling. Like you just don't know. Like it's amazing feeling to accomplish that, and for my kids to see me accomplish getting the house, like it was just an amazing. So I just knew then like how credit is so important and that we need to educate each other and help each other because a lot of times people have knowledge, but they don't share it with other people and they keep it to themselves, you know.
mm,
But
mhm,
I want to share. I want everybody, like everybody I talk to, I'm like, are you a homeowner? Because you need to be a homeowner, because what you can do with your house,
mhm,
your house is basically like a bank, an ATM. You can borrow from it, you can sell it if you need to, it's always going to go up, so it's, like a savings. And when I got my house, my credit was good. I was able to go in the store, get stuff with like no money down, like getting credit cards for high limits. I was just like, yeah, I have to help, I have to help other people. I have to like, explain to people it's not that hard if you just being taught. But the problem is we're not being taught. It's not in the schools. And sometimes even our parents don't even know,
mhm,
So how do we learn? I mean, I've learned, I was in my 40s when I'm like learning really about credit and really how it works and, how to maintain it. And then once you do, your life just, it's like your life has changed, you're able to do different things that you weren't able to do. I don't have to put big deposits and, I like it's just life changing and it's so simple. It's not a hard job, but if you're not educated,
mhm.
like that was my biggest hurdle, not being educated. I mean, so I just want to help other people and help other people just understand and like when you have good credit, it's like less money. I'm not paying high interest rates. I'm not paying,
Mm,
big
mhm.
deposits. So financially, it's all around going to help, a person. So, and it helped me. So I like showing other people.
What are some common like misconceptions that people have about credit scores and how do you help them overcome the challenges?
Well, a lot of people are so scared of like a credit card, right?
Hmm.
They're like, oh, we're not going to get a credit card and this and that. But they have to understand that your credit score is made of 5 factors. But not having a credit card, it's affecting you in 2 categories: payment history and credit mix. So if your credit score is low, then I suggest people to get a secure credit card. And
Hmm.
with a secure credit card, you basically get you don't, it's not by your credit score, it's basically a deposit. So if you put a $200 deposit, then your credit limit is $200. The credit card company is going to go and see, it works just like a regular credit card, but they're going to make sure that you're paying back what you pay off. Now, if you do right, it reports, you always want to get a secure credit card that reports to all 3 credit bureaus, so you're building credit. And as long as you do right, it reports every month, and let people know when you get a credit card, whether it's secure or unsecured, you need
Hmm.
to make sure to know what the reporting date is and what your due date, because those are 2 different dates. And you need to make sure that you make that payment before your reporting date. And normally your due date is a little bit before the reporting date, So you want to, make sure, call them and get the date. And if you need to change your due date to like around your pay period. And I also suggest people to make two payments a month because it's kind of like tricking the system and building your credit. So if your minimum balance is $50, instead of paying one payment of 50, make two payments of 25. And then if you pay every pay period like 25, 25, it's not really hurting you, but it's actually helping you because you have to pay that $50 anyways. So it may paying two payments a month is going to help in tricking the system to boost your credit.
How,
So it
how,
doesn't matter if
how does it trick the system though?
it's just the way that it's just making you get two payments. So instead of if you pay one payment, it's just a
Hmm.
regular. But if you make two payments, that it just boosts your credit. It's just that's how it works. So just knowing little tricks is
Hmm.
how you can boost your credit. So I try to tell people when I consult with them, like let's get you a secure credit card. They're not going to run your credit. You're just going to fill out the application, basically, put a deposit. It doesn't matter if it's $200 or $2,000. It doesn't matter how much the limit, but you don't spend over 30%. So it's like educating people because once you hit over 30% of your credit limit, then your credit score goes down.
Hmm.
So just say if your credit card is $100, the 30%, don't spend over $30 you know.
Hmm.
So really, realistically, a person needs a $500 credit card limit, you know. And because when you spend your 30%, then you'll hit your utilization is going to go up and you don't
Hmm.
want that to happen because when people max out their credit card, they don't understand that that's just hurting their credit. And then when you go apply for things, creditors are looking like you're a risk because you're maxed out.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's just educating people on how to do things and how you know to help you boost your credit you know
Okay. Now, as a licensed mortgage loan officer working across 50 states, that's 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 crazy. Um, what unique challenges do you face when you're helping people navigate, you know, through home financing?
A lot of times when you're not in person with a person, like they're not in California, and I have to just depend on like calling them, bugging them, it's a little bit challenging because if you're right here, I would drive to your job, I'm drive to your house, I'm gonna pick up the paperwork, I'm gonna scan them because obviously it's a disconnect. But when
Mhm.
you're out of state, I can just basically depend on them, and it's like sometimes a little difficult and like I want to don't want to bug a person, but I got to bug a person because if they don't upload their documents, if they're not doing the things that are needed, then the application is just at a standstill.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and what you want to do is you want to get all your documents in, you want to get it through so then that way they can get a pre-approval so they can go shopping for their house because a realtor is not going to even look at you
Thank
without
you.
that pre-approval.
Can you say that again, please? I
You
mean,
need that pre-approval.
these are the things that, you try to educate, clients, without the pre-approval, we won't know what you qualify for. So you can look at all the houses you want to, but until you actually get that pre-approval or start the process, and I think sometimes it's the fear of the unknown, why sometimes people kind of hesitate to do that. But, please tell them again, got to get the pre-approval.
Get a pre-approval. You have to. Otherwise, you can go be shopping for a house that's out your budget, and then
Mhm.
you're just wasting time. Time is of the essence because you can find the perfect house and need to put that bid in right away. Otherwise, you're losing out. No time for daydreaming. We're not window shopping.
Right, right,
We need
right.
to
So, so,
house.
so yes, I will reiterate what you just said, Roxanne. Get your pre-approval. Please get your pre-approval. Because like you said, you can be out there and you find that house and you can't make an offer, because now you're gonna have to go through the process when you should have gone through the process already before you start shopping. But
And somebody
I'm
else will come and put a bid and sneak and steal your house from you.
I'm glad you said it. Thank you very much. So, okay, so home ownership, right, is often seen as like a cornerstone of building generational wealth. So you just shared how how you felt when you went through that process of home ownership. You know, um, I don't know if you can share, like a how you felt when you helped a client, um, go through that and achieve that dream of home ownership. Like what was that feeling with that initial client?
I don't know if I was more excited than them. Because I just know it's life changing. The first client, they were in a very bad situation, basically homeless,
Oh,
living with somebody, a whole family, a family of five in one room, doing what they had to do, but made the sacrifice because, they needed to save up money, you know. But that first client, it's just amazing when you see how happy that they were, how appreciative they are, to just have their own, like their kids had never had their own bedroom. And it's like now they have their own bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like something that we take it for granted is just like us, all they wanted was their own bedroom with their own bed. Like, I don't
hmm
even want to cry, just thinking about it, but it's just, we just take it for granted that it's just easy, and it's just blink of an eye. But there's people who work really hard, two, three jobs, and still are struggling. And then finally, when you're talking to them and letting them know there's a hope, there is hope out there. Like you can become home ownership because a lot of people think it's out of reach. And to
hmm
help the family, like it's so amazing. It's so fulfilling to see other people getting, their dreams come true,
hmm
helping it come true. It's an amazing feeling. It's like it's an adrenaline rush that you
hmm
get like by seeing people happy, you
hmm
know?
Do you think this is something that should be taught as early as, I don't know, like middle school, high school?
I think as far as as early as elementary.
Really?
Really, because it's so many different parts that play in it,
hmm
so you have to understand how to pay bills. You have to understand, like like budgeting,
hmm
you have to understand like, okay, I got a house, but what do I do? How do I monopolize off of that?
hmm
How do I take out like a home equity loan to pay off something? Like, what will it be beneficial for? Instead of going to a bank, like knowing how you can leverage your house and the equity in your house, it's a game changer. But you can be a homeowner, you can inherit a house, but don't know what to do with it,
hmm
But it's so many missing parts and and it's so much that you can do, especially if you want to become a business owner and it's so many pieces that I really think as young as elementary, they should really be starting to teach it like about fifth grade,
hmm
because like just learning, even like when they go in college, they kind of need to know, you know.
Yeah, because I know for sure the moment you reach college, well, I don't know if they do it now, but in the 1900s, I know I know that as soon as you enter, your freshman year, here they are with all these credit card stuff to fill out, and you know what I'm saying?
Credit
And
cards love to give it to college students, and I feel like it's a setup for them because it's
hmm
like you don't have money, or they make it seem so good, even if you do have money, like, oh, this credit card, but
hmm
then you spend it up, and then you don't have a job really to pay it back, but you needed to support yourself while you're in college. Now
right?
they just ruined your credit because now what? You didn't pay it, or you're barely making the minimum payment, and the finance fees are so, just calculating so high, you know? So when you're like on your own, you have to learn how to what? Survive in the dorm? Like who's telling you how to manage,
hmm
I,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest failure in our school system, our education system.
Mm, interesting. Now, in addition to your work in finance, you're also a certified notary and a funeral plan consultant. Um, how do the roles complement each other? Because I feel like, it's like a full circle. You know, how do they complement each other, especially, when people are faced with, difficult times?
So with the funeral plan assistance, a funeral assistant plan, um, I was introduced, I seen it on Facebook on my mentor's page.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have life insurance, but life insurance is for me, you know. But with the funeral assistance plan, it's like it's a 7 people. And when I looked into it and I was just like, oh wow, like I can cover my kid, I can cover my, anybody. You don't have to be related, but I know our funerals are going to be covered. I know like if my daughter lives in New York, her body will be shipped, so we're covered in the United States, Latin America, and Caribbean. So I felt good to know, like, okay, I'm a homeowner. Now I have this, now I have all my kids situated. Like, no matter what's gonna happen, like I know we're gonna be buried. We don't have to do GoFundMe's or fish fries, or you're not gonna have to raise, money. And then with this, like my funeral plan pays first, and then my kids get to keep all my life insurance money because
Mm-hmm.
my life insurance money doesn't need to be used to pay for my funeral, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to keep more money in my kids' pocket, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it was like a no-brainer. And when I see that it's a need out here, I see, my own family members having GoFundMe, car washes, t-shirts, selling plates. It's so heartening because at the time of a loved one, you want to focus on the funeral, but you can't because you trying to raise the money to bury them. And so like a lot of people think that you need thousands of dollars, but it's only our funeral plan is as low as $70 a month. So $70 for 7 people, you can't beat that. And something that's been around for 70 years. This company has been around 70 years and almost all of America hasn't really heard of them. So
Mm-hmm.
just trying to spread the word. And like, I feel like I have the need of people, to help people, the solution, kind of like the one-stop shop. Like you might not need credit, but is you and your family covered, you know? Because everybody has to die. Like that's one thing we have in common. We're
Mm-hmm.
all gonna die at some point, whether it's expected or not. But are you prepared? Because it's not fair on your loved ones to have to deal with that afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So when the people they get, fix their credit, they get a house, I'm like, hey, but what about, securing and making sure that your loved ones are secured? So it's
Mm-hmm.
just making sure. And our funeral, our my credit repair offers a will and trust. So it's like it's making sure everybody is just put together and well, like, things that we don't think of, but
Mm-hmm.
we know that we should have, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I just like to try to educate people and telling people like, listen, you know, take care of your business, put your big girl panties on and take care of business and a little bit of money will have you and your family, secured.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Roxanne, balancing motherhood and your entrepreneurial endeavors, I know you have to be pretty resilient in dealing and balancing the two. But how do you manage to balance motherhood and your businesses?
I mean, luckily for me, like my business is my computer or phone. That's all I need is my computer or phone, and I can handle and do everything from that, you know. My kids, sometimes I could be anywhere driving and I will pull over to handle some business real quick. That's the beauty of the business that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it from any place. I'm on vacation. People don't know I'm on vacation because all I need is Wi-Fi. As long as I have Wi-Fi, my phone and my laptop, I
Mm-hmm.
can do it. but it's just certain moments like when we're eating, that's like me and my family's time. There's no phones at the table. You do have to separate, but a lot of times because I have people all over the United States, the different time zones, I'm
Mm-hmm.
basically ready. You have to stay ready, and people book, an appointment at certain times. I just, carve it out, but I just balance out and making sure like certain times is for family. I don't answer my phone, but other than that, it's just as long as my laptop, and my Wi-Fi and my phone, I can do it from anywhere. And my kids they're right there. They're seeing me, when I'm on business calls or,
Mm-hmm.
doing meetings, or, sometimes I have to bring my little one with me. She doesn't like it, but this is, she's seen me, and this is what I have to do, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But because it's from my computer, it's a little bit different, now.
So, what are trying to think okay, so what are some of the steps um that families should be taking right now to begin generational wealth? Someone came to you, they said, I don't know where to begin, you know, and like we said earlier on, sometimes I think it's the fear of the unknown. Um, what would you tell that person if they said, listen, I don't know where to begin? Just the thought about it, they have anxiety. Like, where do you tell them where to begin?
If somebody came to me and they wanted to know where they began, I would want to have a conversation about like what are their likes, what are their wants, what is their passion? Because if we can pull something out of your likes or wants or your passion that
Mm-hmm.
you can turn into a business. So let me show you how to build some business credit. Or if you not a homeowner, like let's get your credit up because once your credit is up, you can do a lot with your credit.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest thing is for people to start a business, even if you do it part-time on the side, because anything can happen to your 9 to 5. You never want to just depend on one source of income,
Mm-hmm.
especially this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
And so just building, like, do we want to get an LLC? Like, what direction do we want to go and how to build business credit? So it would just be a conversation on, I would honestly try to have somebody be an entrepreneur on something that they like, want, or do, because there's so much things. And if they don't really have ideas, then I would throw ideas at them. Like, okay, well, what about this? What about that? Like, let's look at it, because there's so many little things that you can make passive income, do vending machines, or there's so many things. It doesn't have to, it's not going to be credit because it's not, oh, like everybody's into this or everybody, so you have to have a conversation on what do they like, or are they a people person, or so like how can we make you some income from what you're doing? And even if you can just like set up 2 hours a day, like,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to really put effort. It's not, playing around. Like give
Mm-hmm.
2 solid hours a day. And as long as you keep being consistent, it'll grow. So it's just like, do they want to do it slow? Or do they want to do it fast? So it's a conversation. It's not a one fit all. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
having a one-on-one conversation and trying to see what do they like? What are they into? Maybe they want to teach kids, work with kids. Maybe, so it's just, it really depends on that conversation and the goals because sometimes homeownership's not for everybody, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Maybe entrepreneurship is not for everybody. So let's try to figure out. But to me, everybody should have something outside of their 9 to 5 because the world is just getting more expensive, and you can't depend on just that.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of my friends, her kids sold lemonade at a festival and made $1,000 off of selling lemonade. Like
Okay.
lemonade.
Okay.
Like, so if we gotta have you, going different places, there's so many ways to make money. There's so many avenues, so many people are doing it. All you got to do is copy the right cat. So finding what that passion of that person, what are they into? So then we can get a plan on how to, build it.
Okay. Awesome. So look into your future, where do you see yourself expanding what you're doing now?
Definitely. I'm actually like doing some stuff behind the scenes. Don't want to say
Okay,
too much,
okay,
but
okay.
I will be a realtor soon. Yeah. So I'm
Awesome.
studying for my realtor license, but I'm also doing some other things. I don't want to say, but I have like I want to have 10 different sources of income. Like I want to be making my money in my sleep, just making money and all the stuff I had. And I know now, I know that all you need is a simple system and you
Mm-hmm.
just duplicate it. That's how McDonald's duplicated. Every time you go, every McDonald's you go in is set up the exact same way, no matter what state you go in. So when you realize you just have to get something and then just make a system and duplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I've learned about being an entrepreneur. So just having different streams of income, different ways, because I want to live a good life. I want to travel, I want to be with my
Right.
kids as much
Right.
as possible, like, but I just have, I have a big vision board. Like, it's not small. I'm working big. My expectations,
I
I have
love
a lot
it.
of pressure on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, put in 5 hard years and it's gonna pay off,
I
and I've
love
already
it.
did three, so I just know just things. I just can't. I don't want to say what I'm doing, but I'm doing stuff behind.
In other words, stay tuned.
Yeah.
So, my last question for you, what does Roxanne do for self-care?
Oh, for my self-care, I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely go to the nail shop. I definitely get
Okay.
my hair done. I relax, going out to eat, just relaxing, being with my family, being with my kids, but mostly just like going to the nail shop and my hair. Like that is a must. I don't care how broke I am, like I have to have that budget. That budget for them toes, like yes. And
Oh,
I like shopping. Shopping is like the best. You
I
know, you
hear you. I definitely hear you. And you know, I too have some things that, I went on vacation recently and had to think about a lot of things, the direction that I want to take. So don't be surprised if you hear from me um soon. But for the audience, if they want to get a hold of you, how can they reach you for either the services that you provide?
they can find me on Facebook. It's Roxanne Lawler Rabb. I'm also on Instagram, Wealth with Roxanne, or they can give me a call at 310-279-0646. They can also text that number. Again, that's 310-279-0646.
And like Roxanne said, she works with individuals from different states. So you may meet in a different time zone, but hopefully you can connect. So Roxanne, I want to thank you so much for being my guest today. I myself have learned a lot, especially when it comes to consultant. Um, I think that's a good thing to look into. So I want to thank you once again. And if there's anything that you want the audience to take from this interview, what would it be?
The one thing I would want everybody to know is build for yourself and build for your family, you know, because if you build for yourself and build for your family, you'll have something to lean on because you can't expect people just to give it to you. You can't expect somebody to die and you're just going to inherit the house or something. Like, get it for yourself, build for your family, and then once you get it, monopolize it.
Mm,
Learn how to use it for the good so that you can enjoy life.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love it. But once again, thank you so much. And if you are out there and you're interested in being a guest on Pause Reset Unplugged, please feel free to email me pauseresetbrunch@gmail.com. You can check out the website, naturalandting.com, or you can hit me up, 781-308-2952. Also, if you're in the Charlotte region and you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you can also hit me up as well. So once again, we want to thank Roxanne Rabb for being such a lovely guest today. And for everyone out there listening, have an awesome day. Whatever you do, protect your peace. Once
Thank you.
again, thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.